Welcome back, everybody, to conversation number 80. Hey, that's a nice round number. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors. As always, let's start by thanking Conductrix. They've been with us from the beginning. Thank you, Matt, Nate, Ezekiel, and the entire team at Conductrix so much for supporting us and the TLC. We really, really appreciate it. And we want to welcome our newest sponsor again, Convert. Thank you so much. And thank you to our TLC Connector newsletter sponsor, EPO, and our brand new to the newsletter, starting with our just released Wednesday this week. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Growth Book, thank you for joining us. And y'all go read the latest newsletter that came out July 31st this week. And of course, thank you, Eddie and Blazing Growth. We really, really appreciate you. So a few reminders before I introduce, introduce Ruben. I have a few exciting announcements and reminders. First of all, for those of you who missed the announcement, today is our dear friend, Tone Vesselings, the founder of Conversion Hotel, the Experimentation Culture Awards, the co-founder of Online Dialogue, and by some considered the godfather of experimentation. Today is his 50th birthday. So if you hop over to the Ask Anything channel, you'll see an opportunity for you to wish him happy birthday. And if you know nothing about Tone, you should know that he has amazing style. So today's his birthday, and I thought it was an opportunity to highlight some of his style. If you ever have an opportunity to see Tone at Conversion Hotel, soon to be Experimentation Island in the US, or attend one of the virtual and maybe soon to be in person, who knows? I heard a little rumor. Experimentation Culture Awards, you will see some of these amazing outfits. So just give him, a little happy birthday wish and tell him he's got amazing style. Maybe share one of your memories of how, he made a difference in your life. Happy birthday, Tone. We'll share this little video clip with you, and you all go wish him happy birthday. Beyond that, as I mentioned, Experimentation Island, which is Conversion Hotel in the US, registration is now open. You can go to bit.ly EI2025, or you can scan that QR code. Please come join the conversation in the US. Of course, Conversion Hotel registration also already open. Hopefully everybody already knows about that. It sells out every year. That one's in the Netherlands. The TLC is the organizing party of Experimentation Island. So that's the only reason I'm mentioning it here. Beyond that, TLC Learning Group number 1, which is prepping Google Analytics data for reporting in BigQuery. That starts, we moved the date from Thursdays to Wednesdays. So it starts September 9th. So the screenshot is not correct, but the heading is. So that's bit.ly /prepGA. That starts September 9th. And then Ruben and I, hey, we're teaching a class together, and it starts September 30th. So we're pretty excited about that. We're going to be talking about building award-winning experimentation cultures. And Ruben has been teaching this class at Online Dialogue for quite a while, yeah? How long y'all been doing this?
This, I think from the start almost, and then continue to optimize it for 15 years.
Yeah. And the people who take this class are the ones that tend to win the Experimentation Culture Awards, which is why I made the title Building Award-Winning Experimentation Cultures. And it's the whole reason that I reached out to Ruben and said, hey, let's make this available to more people, because as a juror for 5 years in a row, I'm like, hey, I see a pattern. Let's make this more available globally. And a little sneak peek, Ruben and I are also going to bring this course on a little world tour in person to the US. So if you're interested in having Ruben and I bring this course to your city, reach out and let us know. So let's talk about Ruben. Hey, Ruben is the lead CRO manager and consultant and instructor in extraordinaire at Online Dialogue. He also has taught more than, what is it, 1,600? I think it's close to 1,700 now, isn't it? Maybe
1,000.
more. Yeah,
17,000.
17. That's what I'm sorry. 1,000. Yeah. Don't
Small
mean
difference.
to undersell it. He's taught so many students, thousands of students. He is an award-winning, not just best-selling, award-winning instructor on Udemy. Students and a public speaker on topics such as experimentation, culture, and what we're going to talk about today, which is on the statistical side, meta-analysis, change management, conversion rate optimization, and personal growth. He's also a coach on the athletic side and on the experimentation side. He is a delightful human being, one of my dear friends. I'm so excited to get to teach with you. Ruben, I'm going to pass the screen share over to you and let you take it away. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Oh, what an introduction. Thank you very much. Let me share my screen. There we go. All right, loading, I guess. You see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now it should be big. All right. Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction. Always happy that someone else does it for me. Yeah, we're going to have some fun. And we're going to talk about meta-analysis for better learning, prioritization, and stakeholder alignment. It's a very long title, so we have a lot of ground to cover. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute. Feel free to place in the chat. Hopefully, Kelly can tell me. Yeah, whenever you have a question, feel free to interrupt me. Before we start, and Kelly already mentioned it, but we got one person because yesterday was Elle's birthday. So also happy birthday to Els and Ton, these legends. And what Kelly also didn't tell me is that Ton is basically my mentor. So if I do this presentation completely wrong, feel free to reach out to him. Oh yeah, and of course I have confetti because they're legends and it's their birthday yesterday and today. Well, you can skip this slide. Thank you for doing that, Kelly. Yeah, so I'm the lead consultant online dialogue and conversion ideas is a hobby project where which kind of blew up, where I make zero accessible for everyone to learn and excel for affordable prices or for free. But let's dive into the presentation. And this is what we all love telling our stakeholders. Learnings from experiments are just as important as the outcomes. We love saying this, and it doesn't matter if our test is a winner, a loss prevented, or loser, or however you like to call it, inconclusive, as long as we learn. And then we also love to state, we learn from every experiment. But when I hear this, I always love to ask the question, are you truly learning? What did you actually learn from all your experiments? And next, why should your stakeholders care? Are your learnings insightful for them? Do they read your update emails? Do they use it in their work? Does it help them achieve their goals? Does your insights help them overcome struggles? Now, you might recognize this challenge or perhaps start recognizing it after this presentation. The goal of this presentation is that with an easy tweak, we truly learn much more and align with stakeholders. The goal is to use meta-analysis, no surprise there, to know what hypothesis to address, which type of customer journey, and how. And this will help us become much more successful, both in our results and in aligning with our stakeholders. Now, I did this presentation a couple of times before. Previous version, of course, I always optimize, and Kelly allowed me to present for 40 minutes or so. So I will elaborate on some topics, deep dive on some topics, talk about some side notes, and a few additional bonus tips. Again, feel free to interrupt if you have questions. But let's start at the beginning. Learning is important. We all know that. We all love saying that. And a common heard rule of thumb is that 25% of our experiments result in an improvement, in an increase in conversions or an improvement in user experience. This can be different for everyone, but this is a general rule of thumb, accepted rule of thumb I hear in the market. But if our win rate is around 25%. It means that 75% of what we do results in no growth or even decreases the user experience, conversion rates, and revenue. So basically, in our line of work, we fail a lot. But if we do experimentation correctly, if we do the process correctly, if we have everything set up correctly with a high quality, if we do it correctly, we are going from 75% failure to 100% learning. And learning all starts with the hierarchy of evidence. Proper learning starts with hierarchy of evidence. And yes, this is a model that comes from science and is essential for experimentation as well. And it was first introduced by the birthday boy, Ton, hence the nice party hat. So in science, this pyramid is used to rank the strength of results obtained from scientific research. For experimentation, the hierarchy looks like this. So at the bottom, we have expert opinion and competitors. Next, we have user research, data, randomized controlled trials, or A/B testing, and meta-analysis. Higher up in the pyramid means a higher quality of proof, thus more reliable results and better decision-making. And of course, this all has to do with three levers. It's the target audience representation, of course, with expert opinion, it's just you. Control of variables, and sample size. So higher up in the pyramid, these levers are stronger, thus a stronger proof. Now on the top of the pyramid, we have the meta-analysis. In science, a meta-analysis is performed when multiple scientific studies address the same questions. So it's an analysis that combines the data of multiple studies, multiple similar studies. And this happens because a single study can be prone to errors. A single study is expected to have a certain degree of errors, and the meta-analysis aims to derive at the pooled estimate closest to the truth. And the same applies for experimentation. Yes, A/B testing, randomized controlled trials are very high in the hierarchy of evidence, and we all love doing this, and it is a very reliable way to make the right decisions. But also a single A/B test is prone to errors. For instance, we can have false positives. This means that the test resulted in a winner, but in reality, there is no difference. Or the A/B test resulted in a winner, but for a different reason other than stated in your hypothesis. So a single A/B test is prone to errors. For the last one, for instance, we have here an online magazine website. And the hypothesis here is that social proof early on in the customer journey results in more conversions. So in your variant, in the B variant, you add the social proof on an important landing page or on the home page, and you do it close to the fold or above the fold, right? And when this A/B test is a winner, it is very tempting to state that the hypothesis is confirmed, and indeed, social proof early on in the customer journey is very, very important for these visitors. However, maybe the social proof did not cause experiments to be a winner. Maybe it was this block highlighted in red that was a complete conversion killer. People don't like it. When they see it, they leave the website. Or they don't trust the brand anymore. And by placing the social proof on top of the page, this block is pushed more downwards, causing less people to see it, and therefore you have higher conversions. So it's still a winner, but for a different reason than stated in your hypothesis. So your learning is incorrect. Of course, you still implement it because it gets more revenue, but your learning is inaccurate. So as a single A/B test can be prone to errors, we conduct a meta-analysis to get closest to the truth about what drives our visitors and our conversion rates. So we conduct multiple A/B tests to run meta-analysis. Now let's see how this works in 5 steps. Step 1 is to identify opportunities. What's an opportunity? It's a customer need, desire, or problem. It's the gap between what users currently experience and what they need or want. And it should be based on research. It should be based on thorough research. This cannot be assumptions or gut feelings. It should be based on research. Also important to highlight, these are statements. These are not changes on the website. This is a need, desire, or problem of your customer. Now, your product teams are likely working on business goals and related opportunities. In the product world, these opportunities are very well known. They might have a model like product discovery, double diamond, triple diamond, or a customer problem framework, but likely your stakeholders, your product teams are working on certain opportunities. Now start identifying these opportunities. Have a chat with those stakeholders, product owners, and other colleagues, right? We want to know what they are working on, what opportunities they are working on. If they're not working on opportunities, you need to conduct further research to find them for yourself and preferably ensure your stakeholders care about them. Let's look at some examples for a magazine subscription website. And this will be an example that goes on through the presentation. So let's assume we have 5 opportunities. The first one is that visitors are unsure what subscription to choose. Another one is visitors want to give a magazine subscription as a gift to someone else. Visitors are unsure about the terms and conditions of a subscription. Visitors want bundled offers, and visitors want a trial subscription. These are 5 opportunities. They're not related to a single change on the website. These are opportunities related to customer problems, needs, and desires. So that's step 1. Get those opportunities. Start talking to your stakeholders. Next is to define solutions. What is a solution? A solution is a specific product feature or change developed to address an opportunity. I hear someone on mute. Does someone have a question? No? Then we continue. Okay, so so this is the change developed to address an opportunity, right? And solutions are created through ideation and then tested and validated to ensure they effectively solve the identified problem. They indeed match with the opportunity. So how do we get these solutions? Well, of course, you probably guessed it. We do brainstorming sessions, we ideate. And we can do so again with brainstorm sessions, as here nicely displayed in the Giphy. But do not get everyone in one big room and start shouting and screaming ideas. This kills many creative ideas, as the one with the highest paycheck or the one with the biggest mouth will steer the ideas. Instead, involve everyone, involve your colleagues, so you can get their ideas, you can test the ideas, and they feel heard. So besides helping them with the opportunities, you also help them with their ideas. This gets them involved. So first, ensure for a diverse group. Lucia had a great presentation about this topic on Conversion Hotel and some other conferences as well. Then you can apply the 1-2-4-all method. In this case, first brainstorm individually, and then with increasingly large groups. So first on your own, then with 1 colleague, then with 3 colleagues, and then everyone. Another great method which I like to use is one from the book Continuous Discovery Habits. You generate ideas individually, then you share the ideas with the team. You do not pitch them, you simply share them so you can inspire others and you get inspired by their ideas. Then you repeat step 1 and 2, and you dot vote when you have 15 to 20 ideas, or you test all of them. It's up to you and up to your philosophy. So get those solutions, involve your colleagues, and brainstorm the correct way. So now we have this. Your team, your stakeholders are working on a business goal. They have several opportunities to achieve that business goal. And now you have a list of solutions to help with that. And these solutions become your A/B tests. Now, quick side note is that if this was a presentation for a product team or for innovation, I would go one step deeper and talk about assumptions and assumption testing. And if you want to learn more about that, I can really recommend this book, Continuous Discovery Habits. Also, I would talk about other methods of validation besides A/B testing, because if you do a big enough change idea, you are not going to have development work on it for 10 sprints and design for 10 sprints and then A/B test it. You're first going to validate it through, for instance, user testing. And Testing Business Ideas is a great book for this. In this book, there are 50, 60 experiments, and only one of them is A/B testing. Very interesting book and very nice to read. But for now, let's simply continue with A/B testing solutions. So let's look at our example again. You want to validate your opportunity with several A/B tests, which is the meta-analysis as we covered. One of the opportunities we covered was visitors are unsure what subscription to choose. Now, just by saying this, I'm sure you can come up with several A/B tests already, but to give you an idea and some examples, test 1 could be make the benefits stand out. Test 2, have a bestseller highlight, a quiz to recommend best subscriptions, add reviews and ratings, live chat support, etc., etc. Now, if a lot of these A/B tests results in the winners, then the opportunity seems true and you learn something valuable. So, one opportunity can be verified or denied with several A/B tests. Step 3. For every experiment, document the page. Well, we know the page, the opportunity, and the optimization strategy. We know the page, we know the opportunity. What is optimization strategy? What is the most important ways to optimize your journey based on psychological knowledge? There are different models in the market. At Online Dialogue, we have 5 optimization strategies based on our database with over 10,000 A/B tests and based on science. So this is a model we love to work with, but of course, choose the model you prefer and stick to it. So we have ability, attention, motivation, certainty, and choice architecture. Now let's make this easy. Let's imagine converting on a website is like crossing a bridge, right? So like crossing a bridge. In that case, ability is you want to cross the bridge, but the bridge is broken. Intention, there are 2 bridges in front of you, a normal one and one made of gold. Which one will you choose? You have motivation. You could cross the bridge, but why should you? Certainty, you want to cross the bridge, but only if you trust the one who built it. And finally, choice architecture. There are 2 prices for crossing the bridge, a normal ticket of €5 and a premium ticket of €8.50, which happens to be the most chosen. So this is the model we like to work with. Of course, there's the lever model from conversion.com, and there are several models on the market. Choose the one you prefer, and then document the page, opportunity, and optimization strategy for each experiment. Your documentation tool, it could look something like this. At Online Dialogue, we use Airtable with all our clients. We have a lot of stuff automated as well, and really helps with these meta-analysis, but also here, choose the documentation tool you prefer. So when you also document the results of your experiments, it will visually look like this. So you have the page, the strategy, the opportunity, the test result, and the uplift in the experiment. Of course, you can add more fields like the screenshots, for instance, and significance scores, but these are the ones that are important for your meta-analysis. Again, you can choose any tool you like. You could even try Google Sheets, but I will not recommend that. As said, we love using Airtable. I don't have shares in Airtable. It just makes my life as a manager and consultant a lot easier. If you want to get started, we have a free course explaining Airtable. And while doing so, you set up your basis for your own CRO process and insights. So feel free to check it out. It's a free online course. So let's quickly recap what we have. You have several opportunities. Of course, you have a business goal and then several opportunities. This is one of them. Visitors are unsure what subscription to choose. Then you run a B test, A/B test solutions related to the opportunity on all pages, on the home page, on the list page, and on the product page, and all other pages. Now, every A/B test can have a strategy, which can again be motivation, ability, attention, certainty, choice architecture, or any model you like. And you want to document the outcome. So the green squares here are A/B test winners. The red ones are A/B test losers, or loss prevented, as I like to call them. And the gray ones are inconclusives. And when we do so, we start seeing what works, where, and how. So in this case, we see the most winners on the list page with motivation strategy. We see 5 winners on this list page, and 4 of those are related to motivation. Now this looks nice. Your documentation tool, it will still look something like this, which does not allow us yet to do thorough meta-analysis. But we did all the hard work. So to really do meta-analysis, we need step 4. Remember step 4 of 5. We need to set up meta-analysis in our documentation tool because we have all the information we need for multiple meta-analysis related again to the ideas and opportunities of our colleagues and stakeholders. And now with this information, with this data, we can make all sorts of combinations. And then you really start learning. So for instance, we could cross-reference the opportunities and the page, right? So here we have an example for the homepage. And we completed 130 experiments with the 5 opportunities we covered. It's still the opportunities from the examples in the beginning of this presentation. Now, we see here that in this example, the opportunity related to gift a subscription on the homepage works great. It has a win rate of 70% and an average uplift per winner of 8%. The opportunity related to having a trial period does not work at all in this example. But this is the homepage. For the checkout, we might see something completely different. Here, the terms and conditions work very well with a win rate of 60% and an average uplift per winner of 7%. Again, in this example, the trial period doesn't work at all. If we continuously see this, we could discard this opportunity and replace it for a new one based on what we learned in our experiments. But we can also make more combinations, for instance, strategy and page, right? This is ability, and we see that ability performs best we have most success with ability on the product page. And of course, we can combine the strategy and opportunity. So motivation experiments work best for the opportunity to help people choose a subscription, again, with a win rate of 70% and an average uplift of 6%. Now, whatever your tool you use in Airtable, it might look something like this. Of course, this is fake data, but we can see that attention works best on this homepage with an average win rate of 58%, and choice architecture only has a win rate of 18%. So we have all the data, we can make all these combinations and really start learning what works where and how. So again, we are using a B-test to run meta-analysis. We use a B-test to verify or deny an opportunity on a specific page and start learning what drives our digital users and conversion rates. So now we know which opportunity to address, on what page, and how. There's one step left, which is, of course, step 5. Share the insights with your colleagues. Because remember, again, your colleagues are working on business goals and opportunities, and they share their ideas for solutions. And now you finally can truly help them with your insights, because we really learned through this meta-analysis, and those solutions, opportunities, and business goal is what your stakeholders care about. Now we need to know how to share our results. So quick question, don't need answers, but who is guilty of this? I translated the slide. It says the results of the UX research are in. You can check them out here. I know I've been guilty of this, especially in the beginning of my careers, a lot of times. Yes, I've seen it for UX research, I've seen it for data research, I've seen it for A/B test results. I've also seen, and I've also done myself, we present a B test result after a B test result and send update emails after update emails. But we never ask, is this useful for our stakeholders? Your stakeholders will think, what research? What is the goal? What is the context? Is this for me? Should I do anything with this? What are the outcomes? Do you expect me to do anything? If you would see something like this, you probably would not open it. And same accounts for your stakeholders. So start asking questions. Is this useful for them? Does it align with their needs? Right? You want to align with your stakeholders. You want to align with your colleagues, just like you align with your digital users. For our websites, we do a lot of user research, data research, do A/B testing to perfectly match our website with the needs and motivations of our website visitors, to increase their experience so we can have better conversions. But when we look at our colleagues, we completely forget that. And we just start sending A/B test after A/B test, update email after update email, never wondering these questions. Does it align with their needs? So share the insights in a way that best matches their needs, make it useful for them. You now have the information they are working on, and you have insights based on that information on those opportunities. Now learn how to share it with them. And you can personalize, just like you do on your website. So align with their needs, do colleague research, just like user research, and next personalize. So what opportunity are they working on? This can be your starting point if they are working on an opportunity. What information will you show? For instance, a full report, key learnings, business cases without an opportunity. What are they looking for? How will you show it? And in what order? For instance, first a B test setup, then the results and learnings. This might work for the experimentation team. Or will you start with the opportunity, the insight you got for those opportunities, and a B test as supporting evidence? How will you show it? Written, spoken, dashboards, or gamified insights? Where? Email, team chat, dedicated meetings, lunch and learns, pizza parties, also great for the Friday evening, which is my case right now. And finally, how often? After every completed experiment, which again will likely be work for the experimentation team, weekly, monthly, quarterly, align with the needs of your stakeholders. Talk to them, ask them how they want to stay up to date, ask them what is useful for them. I've even done surveys internally, just like I do surveys on websites and with website visitors. So align with your colleagues, just like you align with your digital users. So if you set up your CRO program like this and are able to share these results in a way that's helpful for your colleagues, you truly learn and you truly align with your stakeholders. 5 steps. Now you might think, hold on, Ruben, somewhere in the longest title of presentations in conference history, maybe, there was something about prioritization. And yes, we go to the bonus tips now, because with these 5 steps, we can do much more. And I will show you what. 3 bonus tips. We start with evidence-based prioritization. Because to get the most out of the meta-analysis, we can set up evidence-based prioritization. And this helps you keep building on your learnings, keep building on your successes, and have more winning tests. But first, another question. And I don't need an answer, but it's something to think about. It's something I've been wondering for a while. It doesn't account for everyone, but I'm sure it accounts for a lot, including myself some years ago. Why do we try to do everything evidence-based except for our prioritization models? Over the years, we went in depth on data, statistics, psychology, server-side testing, automation, in Kelly's case, calculators, right, Kelly? But somehow we forgot our prioritization model because we have been using the same models for years, and years. I often see PI and ICE or something related to this, impact effort. So for those who don't know, PI is potential, important, and ease. ICE is impact, confidence, and ease. You score these on a scale from 1 to 10. You take the average, and that is your prioritization score. Right. It's very easy. That's nice. It's very easy to set up. But it's entirely subjective. Take potential with the PI framework, for instance, or confidence with the ICE framework. With an A/B test win rate of, let's say, again, the 25%, how confident can you be? You can never rate this very high. There's nothing evidence-based about these models. Another one is that there's way too much focus on ease, in my opinion. It's 1/3 of the overall score, and that truly, surely kills innovative experiments, because if something is hard to build, it ends up at the bottom of your backlog. And finally, you cannot automate this because for everything, you have to state a score, right? Now, I also see many people use a PXL-like framework. And it asks you questions such as, is the change above the fold? Yes or no? Are you adding or removing element? And you give certain scores based on your answer. So 1 or 2 or 0. And I hear a lot, and perhaps it's true, PXL is fact-based. Yes, it's much more fact-based than PI and ICE. But this is not evidence-based unless you have some feedback loop built in and adjust the scores. But I never see anyone do that. So again, it's quite simple, right? And a disclaimer, I absolutely love Sparrow and CXL. I think they're great. I love everything they do. And I think this model is also great for your first 50 experiments, a model like this. But after that, I do have some questions, and I noticed this week that Ben Labey is also considering changing it. But there is a huge lack of evidence. We do everything evidence-based, but here is no evidence, because the question is that ideas related to issues found in qualitative feedback get a higher prioritization score, right? So if an idea is based on qualitative feedback, you give it 2 points, and if not, then 0 points. However, you have the data. This might not lead to better experiments. Perhaps in your situations, ideas related to qualitative feedback have a very low win rate. Maybe you have a highly emotional product. Maybe your UX researcher completely sucks. But still, you consistently give these ideas a higher prioritization score because your prioritization model says so. And this majorly declines your experimentation win rate. Another example in the PXL framework is that ideas related to user motivation get a higher score. The question is it related to increase motivation? 2 for yes, 0 for no. Right? But we just learned that there are 4 other strategies. And if motivation doesn't work, you still give these test ideas a higher prioritization score. Again, majorly declining your win rate and your learnings. So yes, it's fact-based, but it lacks all evidence. And also this is hard or impossible to automate. Again, I love Sparrow, love CXL, do use this framework for your first 50 experiments, but then let's make it evidence-based. Because you have all the data, it's time to start using evidence-based and automated prioritization. Because if this is your data, your meta-analysis data from completed experiments. So again, it's the same example on the homepage. You have 1 or 30 experiments with these opportunities. Then an idea related to the gift opportunity should get a higher prioritization score than an idea related to terms and conditions for the homepage, right? Because your experiments, your completed experiments, show that the gift opportunity on the homepage is much more successful than the terms and conditions opportunity on the homepage. So your idea should get a score accordingly. They should get a higher prioritization score. Because the expected uplift from an A/B test is the win rate times the average uplift, right? So for the homepage and the gift opportunity, an idea related to those, the next A/B test is expected to have a 5.6% uplift. And this is evidence-based prioritization. After every experiment, the win rate and average uplift per winner gets updated, and thus the ranking of your A/B test ideas stays up to date based on the latest completed experimentation results. And this should result in more winning experiments, as the test ideas with the highest priority score are based on results from completed experiments. Right? For the terms and conditions opportunity, the expected impact for the next experiment is only 1.2. So its ideas related to this should get a lower prioritization score. This is also how it works. In another view, if we test an idea related to the homepage and the gift opportunity, and it's a winner, the win rate for this meta-analysis combination increases, therefore the prioritization score increases, and therefore we keep testing gift opportunities on the homepage. If at some point, or straight away, it results in inconclusive or loss prevent experiment, the win rate will drop, the prioritization score will drop, and we test different opportunities. Now this can be automated. We can automate this easily in your testing tool, in your documentation tool, right? Of course, you can add a couple of other attributes if you like, if that's applicable to your business. Examples could, for instance, be alignment with business goals and OKR. So important test goals get a higher score, and this then will be a score from 1 to 5. For instance, it can be the percentage of traffic that will see the change. It can be the minimal detectable effects. It can be revenue going through the page. Higher percentage receives a higher score. It can be urgency. And more urgent means a higher score. And of course, you can still include ease. But do make sure you have a balance between easy and complex tests for velocity and impact. but ensure that the evidence-based scores have the highest impact on the overall prioritization score, because that's evidence-based and that can be automated, and that is the correct prioritization. So looking at Airtable, it could look something like this. And this is a very quick example. So if the test idea, we have the what page is running on, we have the opportunity. Of course, you can make the combination as you like. If your opportunities change a lot, you might have a page strategy combination. We have the ease, and then we have a prioritization score based on the win rate, based on the impact, and based on the E score. This is just a quick example. Choose the model that works best for you and try to automate it for quick and easy and correct prioritization of your test ideas. Again, this is Airtable, but choose a tool you like. Start using evidence-based prioritization. Bonus tip number 2, we're still good on time. 2 or 3. So improve your learning, because we started again that we love learning and learning is very important. And when I look at general A/B test reports, they look something like this. We get the name of the A/B test, the reason for the test and hypothesis. We get a setup and screenshots, results on the main KPIs. Then we get the A/B test learnings, and we end with conclusions and recommendations. Right? This is a general report, a general overview. Let's zoom in on the A/B test learnings and also a little bit on the recommendations. I see many reports where the A/B test learnings are something like this. Once I get to the learnings and reports, I see the overall variant result in a 4.3% uplift. The hypothesis is confirmed for mobile, results on desktop were inconclusive, especially new users seems to like the change, and for users coming from a paid market campaign, the uplift was highest. Yes. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. This is not your learnings. This is a summary of your results, which I saw in the slides before. These are not your learnings. Learnings and results are very different. And with your data and with your meta-analysis, you can answer the following questions to craft real learnings. And with all my clients, I have these questions automatically in the learning field in Airtable, so they use it to craft real learnings. Right? So, of course, you can start with, was the hypothesis confirmed? If so, are there alternative explanations possible? Just like we saw in the beginning, a single A/B test is prone to errors. It could be a different reason for your winner. If not, was the hypothesis wrong, the execution, or something else, like a change in marketing, maybe big news, or something else? Then combine the results of this experiment with what you already know from meta-analysis on that opportunity, page, and strategy. Is this in line with the meta-analysis you have, or did we see something completely different? Now, what could these insights say about your customers' needs, motivations, and behavior? What did you really learn? If you ask these questions, those are your learnings. We can do the same for your recommendations. Of course, do you recommend implementing the variant or not? Then you can ask, what are good follow-up experiments? Will you build on the winning result or look at alternative explanations and new insights? And how can you test them, right? And is there, with this knowledge gained from this experiment, anything you would change in your approach for next experiments? Would you choose a different opportunity, a different strategy, or a different page? These are your learnings and recommendations. Start using the data you have in your documentation tool. Start learning, start aligning, and start with evidence-based prioritization. So, quick recap. 5 steps. First, identify the opportunities. Start talking to your stakeholders. Next, ask your colleagues and stakeholders to help you define solutions and start A/B testing these solutions related to the opportunities. For every experiment, document the page, opportunity, and optimization strategy in your documentation tool and set up meta-analysis in that same tool. And finally, share your insights with your colleagues in the way that matches their needs. Bonus tip number 1, set up evidence-based prioritization. You have the data, start using it for your learnings and your prioritization. Bonus tip number 2, improve your learning. And you might think, Ruben, you promised 3 bonus tips. Yes. Bonus tip number 3, enjoy and celebrate your new success, because You now involved your colleagues. And if you have great insights, great tests, great winners, you see the conversion rates increase, do celebrate it with them. Again, involve them. Celebrating success is fun and also involves your colleagues, making them hopefully more fan of evidence-based work. Now, if you think, holy shit, Ruben, this is a lot, 40 minutes, lots of information, and you promised an easy tweak. Yes, I did. And I think it is easy because most of this you probably already do. Simply start identifying the opportunities and tag them in your documentation tool for every A/B test, and you are well on your way. Start talking to your stakeholders, learn what they are working on, what opportunities, and start tagging them and testing them. And that's it. Of course, Kelly already mentioned this. Very much looking forward to it. With Kelly teaching this, I've done this for years in the Netherlands, and some digitally. But now together with Kelly, this is going to be a lot of fun. And of course, if you have any questions, you are always very welcome to ask now, later on LinkedIn or by email. And thank you for listening. I had fun.
Thank you, Ruben. That was amazing and worth the wait. Corey has a question for you, and just a reminder for everybody, if you have questions, you can put them in the TLC calls channel. Corey, if you'll pop that question over in the TLC calls channel, it will just help us continue the conversation after this call is over, so that anybody who wasn't able to make the call today will be able to see those questions, and Ruben can continue the conversation on that Slack channel. But Corey asked, can you put your, oh no, that was me. Corey asked, how many experiments do you run for a specific theme opportunity before relying on the meta-analysis for prioritization? It's a great question.
Yeah, very good question. This is one I often get. It really depends on how many pages, how many opportunities you have. I generally see around 50% that you can at least make the switch to look at the win rate and not impact yet. Maybe need 50 winners for a good impact. But generally, I see around 50, you can start looking at it and slowly start incorporating it in your prioritization model. But again, it works different for every company, every website, based on number of opportunities and number of pages, of course.
So around 50 winners or 50 tests? Sorry, I was reading.
50 tests, and then you can start looking at the win rates of certain combinations. And of course, you still have like 0 and 100%, because for one combination is only one A/B test. But you can slowly start looking at it. And if you want to look at the impact per winner, so the average uplift per winner, then you probably need like around 50 winners or so. But just keep an eye out. I have it in my template and Airtable, and with new clients, after 40 tests, I slowly start looking at them, seeing if I can see patterns already.
Yeah, that's great. And I just want to reiterate, first of all, Ruben, will you share your slide deck with the TLC Slack?
Of course, yes. Happy to do
Thank
so.
you. And I just want to reiterate, because I don't know if you all caught when Ruben mentioned this earlier, but that Airtable course that he mentioned is available now for free. So please, y'all, it's an amazing course, an amazing resource. And, you know, Airtable is as well. I mean, there's lots of other tools, and if you already have a tool, use that tool. But that course, even if you have another tool, that course teaches you like how you might set up your other tools, like the methodologies that you might use are actually useful in even in other tools. So I know that sounds weird, but you know, like if you learn one experimentation platform, you can use another experimentation platform. So just think of it that way.
Actually nice advice. I never
Yeah.
thought about it. That's a good tip. And yeah, for
Wow.
those who wonder, like it's really for free. There's no catch. I really believe that if your work is your passion, it gives you energy, why not spend a couple of extra hours a week to help and motivate others? So yeah, have fun. I hope you like it. I hope it helps you in your careers.
And that's why Ruben is an Experimentation Elite Award winner and an Experimentation Culture Award winner for being such an amazing coach and mentor to so many y'all. Florence says, great presentation. Keep up the good work, Ruben. Accumulating
Thank you.
analyses and meta-analyses is how we build good science. And I agree. Thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to teaching with you. Vignesh says, thanks, Ruben. Does anybody, looks like Sonny's typing, so I'll let him keep typing. Oh, thank you so much, Ruben, for the presentation, but also for the positive energy you shared.
Thank you. Great to see a lot
Anybody?
of familiar names. That's
I know,
nice.
right? So
Yeah,
many great people here.
absolutely.
I see some people typing, so I'll let them keep typing. But while y'all are typing, let me get up the reminders for next week. Not next week, next month. It would be very funny if it was next week. All right. So coming soon on the TLC, August 16th, Jim Stern's going to be here, everybody. He's going to be talking about Imagination Engine, generative AI as a strategic power tool. That is a really great talk. It's Jim Stern. I mean, any talk Jim does is amazing. And then after that, September 13th and September 27th, so sort of back to back, 2 weeks apart. The TLC Mentorship Summit was at Experimentation Elite, and our mentees who did their presentation there, Ruben was one of the mentors, so he can share with you his thoughts on that. But our mentees are coming to the TLC, and they have slightly expanded their talks, and they're going to have a chance to present those talks to all of you. So please come and give them your ears and hearts and support them. They're very excited to share their talks with you. And I'm super excited to have them here. And then Friday, October 25th, Joe Miskovich is going to share his talk on data literacy above all. And that is his talk about how PBS took the opportunity to teach data literacy at PBS. So it is a really interesting talk because data literacy is a really important concept that most organizations just sort of skip right over the need for the entire organization to have data literacy skills. So those are our next several talks. So thank you so much, Ruben. This was wonderful. Again,
Very
happy
welcome.
birthday to Tone. Sorry I missed your birthday, Els. Geez. Happy birthday, Els. Happy birthday, Tone. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend.
Have a great
Take
weekend.
care.
Thanks, everyone.